Well, before we get to all the exciting stuff that's going on the trail and with the Appalachian Trail thru hikers, I want to just take a quick pause to remember Memorial Day. I don't say Happy Memorial Day. I say I hope you have a blessed Memorial Day and that you are enjoying some time with your family and friends. This is kind of seen as a holiday to kick off the summer, but what it really is a time that we remember those who have passed away, those who have been killed in wars, fighting for our democracy, fighting for the freedoms that we enjoy right now. From the time of the Civil War to the time of the present, where we have lost over 1.3 million Americans to that cause. Abraham Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address, "It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to the cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we are highly resolved that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation shall have a new birth." So I hope you'll just take a few moments to remember those that have passed away in fighting for the freedoms that you now enjoy, and remember Memorial Day for which it is. And I hope you'll spend it with some loved ones out there. And if you've got a chance, get out there on the trail, spend some time in God's creation and thanking Him for the freedoms that we have and for the things that He has given us and the sustenance that we have because of that. Well, let's get on to what's going on with the trail. So first off, I need to right an egregious wrong that I did last week. And it's egregious to me personally, maybe not to you out there. So I had put out that there was a pile of lumber that I had seen on another video or another picture from another thru hiker of what was left of the Over Mountain shelter. So you'll recall that the ATC and the Tennessee Eastman Hiking Club and the National Forest Service, they demolished the Over Mountain shelter rather than trying to save it. It's been an iconic shelter since, I believe, the 70s. And hasn't been there since the CC camp or anything since those days. But anyway, they didn't want to maintain it anymore. It had some structural issues. Didn't want to spend the money to fix that, so they just tore it down instead, despite its iconic presence and its iconic status that thru hikers had given it. Don't need to keep on going on about that, but I'll miss it, that's for sure. Can you tell? But anyway, I wanted a piece of that because it was an iconic thing to me. I've been through there and stayed there. My son went with me and stayed there when we did it. And so it was just a really neat shelter. And it is a gorgeous spot, still a spot that's open for camping. So I highly recommend you go there. You get a look down this valley, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous spot. But in any case, I'd put out that I want a piece of wood from that. Well, lo and behold, a hiker that is out there on her thru hike, she hiked and off of the trail, and it is a 1/10 or so a mile off the trail to get to it. So if you're not going to stay there, then you have to go to some trouble to get to it. And she did that on her thru hike while she was out there, found me a piece of wood, then found me at trail days. Well, here's where the egregious part comes in. I thanked her last week, but I used the wrong name. And so her name is Minnie Mouse. So I cannot tell you what that means for me for her to go down and do that. And so thank you once again for going down and doing that. She has a YouTube channel, and it's called Nothing to It But to Do It. So she's out there hiking. I'll leave a link to that down below, so go and check her out. Her videos are very quick, very short, very informative. Just gives you an idea of how things are going out there on the trail for her, and likewise for other hikers. So go and check her out and give her a attaboy, attagirl, or attavay, whatever the case may be, with her and all the other thru hikers that are out there on the trail as they go throughout their track. Now let's talk about some other thru hikers that are out there. So we got Nichols. He's around the Falls Village in Connecticut. So he's crossed over in Connecticut. He had a bout with what he believes is the norovirus. So that far north, kind of unusual to have the norovirus. Hikers are all spread out when you get that far north, so kind of unusual to have it in a dispersed environment out there. Typically you have it coming out of the Smokies when folks are all jumbled up in shelters in the Smokies and then coming into hot springs and such. So it's very unusual, but nonetheless, he had the symptoms that you have, and that's basically you got it coming out both ends. What's up, Daisy? And so he had that. He had to take about 3 zeros to kind of get it settled down, and that is what it takes for that virus to run its course. And so the only thing you can do is just get a lot of fluids in you, get a lot of electrolytes in you. And so he did that, and he's back on trail now. Did experience some weakness the first couple days, but he's kind of getting back up to speed now and getting back to his old self. One of the things that was really cool was that I have a Trail Angel list, and I have mentioned that before. And so that's a list that Trail Angels will send me in, that they're willing to go out there and help hikers on the trail. A Trail Angel does it for nothing. They don't charge for it. So there are people that are shuttle people that are shuttle drivers that charge for their services, and that's a legitimate business, and it's legitimate for them to do that. But then there are Trail Angels who go out there and just out of the goodness of their heart, they don't charge, and they shuttle hikers around just because they enjoy giving back to the hiker community. And so Nichols, I have a Trail Angel list that Trail Angels will put themselves on my list, and that is a private list. It's only open to Thru hikers, and so I only give it to a Thru hiker that I have vetted out to make sure they are indeed a Thru hiker. So it's not just for the general public out there. And so Trail Angels put their name on the list, and Nichols used one of the Trail Angels from that list. So that was awesome. And what was really cool was they helped him out in a very difficult situation. They put together a care package of Gatorades and medicine and food, and then got it to a trailhead for him. And then to also add to that, another Trail Angel hiker, just an anonymous hiker, don't know the name of this hiker, hiked that in to where he was. So that is pretty awesome. So Nichols wanted to give a shout out to Auntie Bonnie and Uncle Dave. They are the Trail Angels that were from my list that helped him out while he had the noro. So thanks a lot for you guys for being Trail Angels and helping hikers out there. Sweet Potato, she's in an update, and here's her video.
Sweet Potato here. I thought I'd share a fun story that starts with a missing raincoat. So on the 19th of May, I lost my raincoat somewhere between Daleville and 5 miles northbound to the Full Heart Shelter. And a few miles in, I stumbled upon some trail magic. I was the first person there, so I helped Dan the Appleman set up. And as we were setting up, I shared the story of the lost rain jacket. And he just happened to have emergency rain ponchos. And so I was delighted with that. I have a Trail Magic emergency rain poncho, and I take off. Later that day, I'd posted to Facebook and Far Out about my missing raincoat. It's a Patagonia and it's navy, and I heard through like 3 different sources, including Dan from Facebook, that somebody had come by in that same Trail Magic with my raincoat and was on their way to deliver it to me. Fast forward 4 days later, and I still don't know who it is, and I still don't have my raincoat. And so it's kind of fun to think that my raincoat is hiking the trail behind me. But if this is a shout out, if anybody has any information, just let me know. You can go to Far Out and you can get my contact information. You can go to Facebook and reach me there. It's just a great story about trail magic. Emergency rain poncho. Who would have thought on the same day I lose my raincoat? And I am headed right now. I just left Glasgow and I am headed to Buena Vista. So hopefully somewhere in the next 20 to 30 miles, I will be reunited with my raincoat.
Chase and Buzz, they're being supported by Vanish. They're semi-new to the channel. They are flip-flopping from Amicalola Falls to Hot Springs, and then they're going to flip up to, well, they're starting from Amicalola Falls State Park, going to Hot Springs. Then they're going to flip up to Harper's Ferry to Katahdin, and then come back and do Harper's Ferry to Hot Springs, Sobo. And so they have gotten out there on the trail, and they have finished their first section, and they've now flipped up to Harper's Ferry. They've crossed over the Maryland-Pennsylvania border, and they send in this video.
Greetings, Ramdino. This is Chase, and hiking with Buzz, and being supported by Vanish. We finished last week our hike for our southern part of our flip-flop at Hot Springs, and then drove up on Saturday to Damascus to attend a very wet trail days where we could do the parade. We're sorry we missed you. I couldn't, it was hard to find most people. Everybody's all covered up and it was raining a lot. But then we had a great time there. And then we drove up to Harper's Ferry, where we have hiked now through the rest of West Virginia and Maryland, and we've crossed the border into Pennsylvania, which is where we're at now. And all along the trail, Vanish has been providing trail magic, and she's been giving hikers rides to and from town. She gave 2 hikers a ride in the town at the diner and waited until they finished eating and drove them back to trail this morning. Thanks, Ramdino, for all you do. And if anybody wants to follow us, you can follow us on our YouTube channel at Chase-Life, or on our Facebook page, which is linked from our YouTube channel. And yeah, we do daily updates, including reviews of gear. This week we're trying out the new Wapta pack from Durston, which is kind of interesting. So that's what I'm using right now. All right, talk to you later.
They say shelters are not too crowded. They are seeing younger and faster hikers and the early starters that are kind of mixing in with some section hikers and day hikers that are out there. But in general, they say the trail's not crowded except where the locals have easy access. So there's a couple places like up around High Rocks where you can actually drive right to a portion of the trail up there. Waffle and Hawkeye, they crossed over the 1,200 mile mark this week. And they started out at Amicalola Falls State Park at numbers 88 and 89 were their bag tag numbers, and they are hoping to summit in late July at Summit Katahdin. 111, he is out of the shanties. He is going to hang out at Front Royal there for a day or so to kind of avoid the crowds when he's going, when he gets to Harper's Ferry, because that's a very historic town. He wants to kind of walk around and see it without all the other crowds there. And so he sends in this video.
Hello, Ramdino and family. This is 111, just giving an update. I am currently in Front Royal hanging out. I am taking a couple of zeros. I want to avoid all of the Memorial Day confusion in Harper's Ferry. I like to spend a little time there. So I am going to exit here on Friday and then work my way to Harper's Ferry. Should be there Monday or Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's 111 out.
So very cool. Looking forward to his continued hikes. He's given us updates all along his trip. So it's been very interesting to follow his hike out there. Piercy and Sugar Bear, they are through the Rhone. And
wow. That's freaking incredible. Sugar Bear.
Incredible is you're over there.
I know.
That's incredible.
if you're somebody who has just had surgery, then Piercy is a prime example that you can get out there and do this once you heal up. So he's had a left knee replaced, a right hip replaced. He now needs a right knee replaced, and he is still out there on the trail hiking and loving it, having a good time. He's also, him and Sugar Bear, they hooked up because they're both Navy vets, so appreciate your service to our country, guys. And they just kind of hit it off, and so they have just formed a team, and they're hiking out there along together. Boomerang, he's in Vermont and sends in this update video.
Hey Ramdino, Boomerang here, giving you a little update. I know I'm way behind. As you can see, we're at Mount Greylock, and looks like it has the makings of a beautiful day out there. We'll be pushing into Vermont tomorrow. Connecticut and everything went real well. I'm with the Hiking Tomato, and we should be hiking in the same path in the same days until we get to Mount Katahdin. Oh, yeah. It's all in reach now. What?
Well, spring has rolled over into summer, and here in the Carolinas on Memorial Day weekend, we have hit the 90-degree mark. And what happens when you hit the 90-degree mark? You are sweating big time out there, losing electrolytes big time out there, and now is the awesome time to have an element drink mix. When else is a good time to have an element drink mix? When you're trying to fix the internet so Trail Boss can stream Hallmark to watch the same 4 actors in 20 different episodes. How's that?
No,
How's that?
no,
How's that?
no,
How's that?
no,
How's that?
no.
How about now?
Perfect.
When you're planting a shrub for Trail Boss's birthday. How about here?
No,
This way?
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 no.
How about this way?
Perfect.
Finally. Yep, all those times are great times to have an element drink mix. And whenever you're out there sweating and losing electrolytes, and it's going to replace those electrolytes, which each packet, it's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Everything you need, nothing you don't need, no sugars, nothing in there that's going to keep you from getting back on the trail, getting back where you need to be. And right now, if you go to drinkelement.com/Ramdino, with every drink mix order, you'll get a free sample packet of all their flavors that they've got out there, and they've got a slew of them. So that's go to drinkelement.com/Ramdino. That's DRINKLMNT.com/Ramdino. And right now, they have also got sparkling mix out there. I'm telling you, this stuff is awesome. It's just as addictive as the drink mix. I'm loving it here in this hot summer. So go to that website. Again, that's DRINKLMNT.com/Ramdino and get you some. Brandon, he has got a trail name out there, and his trail name is Payday. He is north of Irwin. He's sending in this picture of the trail, and he says it's starting to canopy over there in the grass. And so that's getting to be a problem with ticks, probably mosquitoes too. He sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, Payday here. Coming off Big Bald and Little Bald Mountain right now. Trying to push all the way into Irwin today, but we'll see how that goes. Might not quite make it. It would be like a 22-mile day. Didn't get a chance to update you last week through the Smokies. There just was not any cell service out there. Even on top of Klingman's Dome, the highest point, I had nothing. So didn't get a chance to update you. Had really good luck through the Smokies though. Just kind of hiked through the clouds the whole time. Didn't really rain on us too much, which was nice. Only real trail maintenance issues to report is the grass is starting to get severely overgrown out here. So definitely if you're hiking out anywhere in North Carolina, north of the Smokies, bring your long pants, bring your long socks, bring your long sleeves, because we're already finding ticks on us and the grass is getting overwhelming. But happy trails, everyone.
Another problem when the trail is not maintained well and it starts to canopy open over like that, not only is the grass, you're walking through it, but a lot of times it'll just be weeds and poison ivy. So you really need to be, particularly in anything that's canopy open, to avoid ticks and poison ivy, you need to be wearing long sleeve stuff. You need to have some permethrin on your clothes. One thing that you're not going to be able to avoid is, unless you wear your wet weather gear in the morning, is that you will get condensation and dew all over you, and you'll be sopping wet until the dew gets off of that stuff. So just keep that in mind as you're going up through there. Zeb, he is through the Whites, and he plans to summit Katahdin the first week in June. Inchworm, he is hit the 300-mile mark on his flip-flop from Harper's Ferry to New York. Stick the Eagle, he is probably coming through Connecticut, and he sends this in this video of a bear encounter and also another one of his update.
Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my. It's a bear. Hey bear. Hey bear. Hey bear. Hey bear. Are you having a good night, bear? Yeah? I hope so. How's the AT? How's the AT treating ya? Whoa, what are you attacking? You go in your own space, right? It's nice seeing you, Bear. Have fun climbing those rocks. See ya.
Hey Ramdino, it is Dick the Eagle here. It's been a hot one the last couple days, and the key to that is drink water, 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 and lots of breaks. Lots more breaks than I normally take. I'm at the top of West Mountain right now, and I'll take a longer lunch break at Telephone Pioneer Shelter today to wait out the hottest part of the day, which I think is a great idea. Worked well yesterday at RPH. Anyway, going into Connecticut, possibly today. I'll be most of the way through Connecticut by Sunday, I'm sure. My home state, so excited. Highlight of the week is probably the bear that I saw. I showed you a video of that. It's long, include a clip here if you want to, but that was some interaction. Happy trails, everyone.
Mad Hermit, he is past Nubbo Mile 850 and into the shanties, and he sends in this video update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Mad Hermit checking in with you from Rock Point, trail mile 849, on my way to Waynesboro this evening for Zero tomorrow. There's been a few people going back for trail days that haven't caught up yet. Pretty sparse population of campers last night, but it just kind of depends on the luck of the draw. I think there's lots of shuttle pickups here and not too far to Waynesboro. So we'll see what it's like on the other side when we get into the Shenandoahs. Hey, thanks again for everything you do.
Slow and steady, he is through Massachusetts and well into Vermont now, and he sends in this video update.
Hey Ramdino, Slow and Steady here, reporting just south of Dalton, Mass. Going to be in Dalton, Massachusetts soon, and shortly after this video airs, we'll be in Vermont, probably a couple days after. So miles keep piling on, but so far southern Massachusetts, the black flies and the mosquitoes have been relentless. See the head net? Just pulled it up long enough to say hi to you and your viewers. Anyway, watch out in Mass for all the crazy bugs. With that said, it's beautiful out. It's hot, but it's beautiful. Water everywhere. All right, and if anyone wants to see where we've been, where I'm going, check out Hiking with Slow and Steady on YouTube. Thanks for everything you do, Ramdino. We'll catch up soon. Bye.
So mud season should be coming to a close now, but we have had so much rain that it's probably going to take a while. And if that trend continues, then mud season is going to go on for much longer. But typically it ends toward the end of May, 1st of June. Rooted is near Pearisburg, and she sends in this encouragement for those thru hikers out there.
Hey Ramdino, it's Rooted. Haven't checked in a while because I was off trail a couple times with feet problems, like twice, 3 weeks each time. They have been resolved, and I've been back on for almost a month, making my way through Virginia. Probably be past Pearisburg by the time you air this. I just wanted to be a little encouraging to other AT backpackers. If you had to get off trail for injury or any other various reasons, it's okay. We will finish when we finish. I had to skip miles, and I will go back and finish those at a later time, like this fall. So just be at peace with that, as I am. And I just wanted to encourage you with that. And all right, Lord bless you all. And Ramdino, thank you for all you do. Bye.
And what's really poignant is that she has that encouragement for thru hikers that had to get off the trail and are going to have to get back on the trail. That's a really hard thing to do for people to get off the trail, but if they can, when they go home, a lot of times home wants to call them back, flush toilets and good hot water whenever you want it. But the trail always calls you back. And so this is a prime example that she gave of how you can do it, get back out there. Sandra Massey, she is through the Smokies, and she has a trail name now, and that's Axe. So she's had a whole lot of firsts on the trail, from crossing a footbridge to having a doe walk out within 5 feet of her. She also had her first hitchhike from Newfound Gap down into Cherokee. So she chose the other way. Most people go to Gatlinburg, but she says she went to Cherokee. But she says the AT has just been so amazing. And she also says, be careful what you wish for. So the way she got her trail name was, she had a dream, and she was sharing her dream with some people, that she was at a vending machine trying to get milk duds out of it. And instead, apparently she'd been out on the trail for a while without a shower. Instead she got Axe deodorant that came out of the machine, and she shared that with the people she's hiking with. So her trail name is Axe. So be careful what you wish for, be careful what you share out there on trail. Had a couple folks that had to get off trail. So we had to get Oz, the hiking sailor. He had gotten off trail really a couple months ago. But I saw him at Trail Days, and I want to mention him. I don't know if I mentioned him a couple months ago, but he had to get off trail to go home and probate his parents' estate. So he lost his parents last year, and so he had to go. It was time to get that done. So he hopes to get back on trail August 15th for his flip-flop. And then Arkansas hiker, who has been updating us on a regular basis, and who I saw at Trail Days, met in the real world. He had to get off trail, so he had made it to Pearisburg, and then there was some tornadoes that had come through his hometown of Rogers, Arkansas, and I believe that was like last night. And they were hit by at least 3 tornadoes, he said. He had damage to his house. His neighbors had damage. I'm sure damage also entails total destruction for some people. Also, the company that he works for, who allowed him a sabbatical to go on this hike, they had damage. And so he felt like that, one, he had to go home and look after his house and look after his neighbors and look after his employee like there. So certainly that is a priority number 1 for you, even when you're out there on the trail. He sent me a note, and he said, I'd apologize to you and everyone for having to step off at this time, but helping others in times of crisis is important to me. So no apology necessary, Arkansas hiker. Totally get it, and you are doing the right thing. Sorry that that happened to you. My prayers go out to you, and I hope the rest of the community's prayers and good thoughts and good vibes, whatever they can send you, will go out to you as well. You've been a constant update to her, and we've loved following to us, and we've loved following your hike. And just go home and take care of what you need to take care of. I hope that nobody was injured, and that it was just material possessions that can be replaced back in your hometown. But good luck to you, and we look forward to seeing you whenever you may be able to have the chance to get back out here on the trail. So we had some support from last week, so I wanted to give a shout out to Laurel, who became a Patreon member. Thanks a lot, Laurel, for doing that, and that's one of the ways that people can support me, and that really means a lot when people do that, because it tells me that you believe in my mission and what I'm doing to offer support through Patreon, and then also through the super thanks that people give me, and even through a purchase through my merchandise store. All that stuff helps me to better the channel and get gear and go out there and put together stuff for you, but it's all about for the community. It's all about building the hiker community. So I greatly appreciate that. And then, of course, driving traffic to the channel with your comments and your thumbs up and your subscriptions, all that helps bring more people into the hiker community. And you know, it never ceases to amaze me how when I meet people out there, how much they say that the channel means to them and got them to actually hiking out there. And so don't hear me say anything. It's not about me. It's really about you guys, because you guys are the ones that make this channel. It's not me. I'm just the guy that's giving forth the information that you give me. So it's not about me at all. But I just greatly appreciate everybody that sends in your information, the trail, what's going on there. Not able to use it all. Here recently, it seems to me I've had several people come in about some issues that are going on out there on the trail, and I don't tend to share all of those issues because some of them may have some negative ramifications for some other people out there. Some of them probably need to be shared, but until I can vet those out and make sure what's going on is going on, I don't want to make a mistake and do that. But continue to send me in that information. Continue to support that the channel. Thank you so much for all that you do out there, folks, and thank you for your comments that you give me. That keeps me doing what I do here. Now, some news that's going on out there on the trail. So we've been talking about for, I guess, the last 2 months about Sadie, the hiker dog, and Bright Eyes, her mom. So Bright Eyes is now back in Canada. So Sadie has been missing for about 2 months. She went missing March 18th up on Walnut Mountain Shelter, that area there up near Max Patch on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. And we have not been able to find her. We have done multiple ground searches up there and just used drones and searcher dogs and people and bushwhacking and trail and going on logging trails, old logging roads, and just everywhere we could find up there to cover that area, and she has not been found yet. So we are still looking for her. It's now, we're on pretty much on a social media search. So Bright Eyes did go through, Bright Eyes and Sadie were finishing their Triple Crown, and they only had about 200 miles to go. And so Bright, after staying literally on the trail for 6 weeks, Bright Eyes decided that everything that could be done had been done up there that could be done in that location. I totally agree with that. I haven't even come close to telling you everything, just scratch the surface about what went on up there. But at some point in time, you've just got to say, okay, we've done enough and we cannot do any more. And we even went, even places were gone over multiple times. So she had to mentally tear the Band-Aid off, as she puts it, and she had to, the only thing she could do is keep going, hoping that as she kept going along the way that maybe Sadie continued south. We feel like Sadie did continue south. We also feel like that possibly another hiker picked her up, either befriended her, absconded with her, because we had some plausible identification of her around the knock there in Gatlinburg and at Wesser. And so we felt like maybe that somebody had taken her there with them. And so she continued south on the trail looking for her in that manner, and that was really all she could do. I've been seeing some people make some comments on here that I've left up. Typically I remove comments that I feel like are detrimental to people out there, or just really, really out of line, and these were kind of out of line. But I left them up there because I want to explain something to you, and that is that Bright Eyes, the comments were based around, how could she possibly leave the area? I would stay in that area forever. Well, no, you wouldn't stay in the area forever. Eventually, you've got to move on. You've got to do something. You can't just stay living in a sleeping bag in a tent on the trail the rest of your life. But not only that, once you've done everything, you've got to move on. But she's in a special situation. So she's from Canada. She was getting close to the end of the time that she was legally allowed to be here. She's getting close to the time, or actually right at the time, when her insurance in the U.S. and her Canadian health care was going to run out, and she run the risk of not being able to have Canadian health care once she got back. So she didn't have a choice. She had to leave. It would have been illegal for her to stay here and detrimental for her to do otherwise. So I'm sure that she would have been here, probably she may have been here the rest of her life until she could have found out some type of closure with Sadie. So right now, understand that, and then also we could certainly still use your help looking for Sadie online. So anywhere from Tennessee and North Carolina, Kingsport, Tennessee, all the way down to Atlanta. If you're somebody who go out and could peruse the Facebook pages and the internet through shelters and different Facebook groups between Kingsport, Tennessee and Atlanta for where that dog might be, for a shelter that might have the dog, where that person just ditched the dog there that took her. Go and look at other hikers' videos, see if you see her in the background, or a dog that looks like her. and send that in to me. Send that into the Facebook page that I'll leave a link to down below. It's the Search for Sadie, and send that in there. And there are people that are watching that Facebook page that will go and vet that out. So any pictures you see, that would be great. We really need to see those pictures. And one of the things that is most remarkable that you can identify Sadie by, there's a lot of lab mixes that got a lot of gray and some white on her. She doesn't have any gray but brown, but what she does has is a knot on her back left hand leg that's like a tumor. So you'll see that. If you see that on the back of her or even a dog you see walking on the trail, that very well could be Sadie if she matches the rest of the description. So send that information in. We'd greatly appreciate that. Then our northern correspondent Whispers, he reports in that most, if not all, the snow that was impacting the Appalachian Trail is gone from the White Mountains up there. And so he sent us in a picture of him bushwhacking up a slide. I don't think this was on the AT, but it was an example of how all the snow is gone up there, including from the higher elevation. So appreciate you sending that in and keeping us updated, Whispers. Truck Lane, who is a subscriber and section hiker, he was out there on the trail through the Smokies, and he wanted to make sure everybody was aware that the Cosby Knob shelter is open. The only shelter in the Smokies that's closed is the Russell Field shelter, and there also is a warning out there for the Molly's Ridge shelter, and all this is closures for bears. So there was a bear that was habituated that got too close and stole some food and touched the tent there at Molly's Ridge, and there has been a bear there. There was one at Cosby Knob, but apparently that's not an issue anymore. But now at Molly's Ridge, there's bears that have come close. They've been able to be scared away, but it may not take too much longer, and they are not able to be scared away anymore. Fresh Ground and Leapfrog Cafe, they are working on a fundraiser. He is going out to the CDT and going to be serving hikers out there. So the Leapfrog Cafe typically works the Appalachian Trail, and he is typically taking care of hikers there. But a new ministry area for Fresh Ground and Leapfrog Cafe is the CDT and even the Florida Trail. So right now he is going on out to the CDT. So it takes money to keep the Leapfrog Cafe rolling, and so he is doing a fundraiser right now for that. I'll leave a link down below to his Facebook page. You can go there, Leapfrog Cafe, and there are numerous ways that you can give to the Leapfrog Cafe to help support that endeavor as he goes out and serves hikers, through hikers on the CDT. And then the Kennebec Ferry is now open in Maine. So the Kennebec Ferry is a canoe, basically, where it takes 2 hikers across at a time and across the Kennebec River. And then they don't want you fording that river because it is dam controlled. They could release water from the dam at any time. And there have been drownings before out there, people that did not take advantage of this ferry. And so there's some type of system where they let you know when the ferry's on the other side. They let people know, ring the bell or something like that, and they let you know, lets the ferryman know to come back and pick people up. So, and he probably stays on the southern side anyway, because right now he's got mainly Nobo that's coming through anyhow. So that's a service provided by the ATC, and so that is now open. I'll be hitting the trail in the next few weeks up in the Priest area, up in central to northern Virginia. If you'd like to come along, you are more than welcome to come along and come with me out there on the hike. I love doing that. If you can only come out and do like the first day, the afternoon, what have you, that'd be awesome too. So I'll be starting there at, I think it's Highway 60 at Buena Vista. Somebody else tell me how to pronounce that. I thought it was Buena Vista, and then somebody said it was Buena Vista. I got a 88, almost a 90-year-old, 88-year-old uncle that lives there, and I ought to know it. But any case, that's where I'll be starting. And so I can use a shuttle from where I'm going to be ending, which will probably be 30 to 45 trail miles north of there from 60. And so if somebody is out in that area and could help me out with a shuttle, that would be awesome. But otherwise, I'll get a shuttle out there greatly appreciate folks out there that have given me shuttles in the past, both paid and folks that have just come out with me and hike with me. So greatly enjoyed that, and so you're welcome to come along again and just to join me for however long. You can come with me for a day, come with me for the whole trip. The trip will be probably about 3 days, but probably just two night overnight, maybe 3 overnight. But anyway, 35 to 40 miles. We'll see how that goes. Folks, I greatly appreciate you being here this weekend. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.